But we begin with a solemn farewell to one of New York's finest, killed in a cold-blooded ambush exactly 1 week ago. Today, this Saturday, more than 20,000 American police officers, including from southern New England, stood side by side in the borough of Queens to say goodbye to Officer Rafael Ramos. He and his partner Wen-John Liu murdered in the patrol car by a man who vowed to get revenge for the deaths of Eric Garner and Michael Brown. A heartbreaking exchange outside Christ Tabernacle Church in Queens Saturday morning. The widow of Officer Rafael Ramos accepting the American flag that was draped over his coffin.
I've been set free.
Inside, family, fellow officers, and politicians, including Vice President Joe Biden, honored the officer who was assassinated in his squad car, along with partner officer Wen-John Liu 1 week ago.
When an assassin's bullet targeted two officers, it targeted this city, and it touched the soul of the entire nation.
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio got a polite reception in the church.
New York City has lost a hero.
But outside, hundreds of police officers turned their backs when the mayor spoke, siding with union officials who say de Blasio helped foster an anti-police climate that may have contributed to the shootings. As many as 25,000 police officers from around the country created a sea of blue for several blocks, black stripes covering their badges.
We all serve for the same team, and we want to come down and make a difference.
After the casket was brought outside, police helicopters flew overhead, and hundreds of officers on motorcycles led the procession to the cemetery. Ramos and Liu were both posthumously promoted to the rank of detective. And funeral plans for Officer Liu have not yet been announced. As we've mentioned, local police were among the thousands who paid their respects in the nation's largest city. And we caught up with members of southern New England law enforcement as they got off their bus in Richmond this evening. Eyewitness News reporter Perry Russum joins us live from the newsroom with in-depth coverage tonight. Perry.
Jared, Rhode Island State Police got back at about 5 o'clock tonight from New York City in a trip to honor the life of one of the NYPD officers killed last week. Law enforcement agencies from across Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts bussed down to New York City to attend the funeral of NYPD officer Rafael Ramos.
It was a sea of police officers, 10 deep, for as far as you could see, left, right, on rooftops. It was really, it was unbelievable to look at. Ramos
and Officer Wen-John Liu were killed last week in an ambush-style attack while sitting in their squad car. The gunman then killed himself. Rhode Island State Police sent about 50 troopers down to New York. We met up with them after they got off of their bus with a handful of other police agencies at their Hope Valley barracks. It was a 12-hour day for the troopers, leaving at 5 o'clock in the morning and returning at around 5 o'clock at night.
I think the number was 25 to 30,000 officers. We saw officers from California, from Alaska, from the southern states. All the New England states were represented.
Some of the other police agencies that were down there were Portsmouth Police, Cranston, and Massachusetts State Police. Here's a picture Mass State Police posted on their Facebook page from the funeral service.
It was really inspiring to watch people that don't even know each other, that do what they do for a living, walk side by side, talk to each other, and just go pay tribute to that family.
There is still one more funeral to plan, that of Officer Liu, and the colonel says they will be sending down troopers to that funeral as well. Live in the newsroom, Perry Russum, Eyewitness News.